Who is the best captain for game week 30 and what moves can I make with my FPL team? Now the press conferences are finished, my team is getting closer to being locked in for the deadline, but who on earth do we captain? Do we go and buy Mohamed Salah and captain him, or do we stick with Bruno Fernandes or Erling Haaland? There are so many decisions to make, so let's get into this. Welcome back to the FPL Mogs YouTube channel and welcome to today's team selection video for game week 30. If you're brand new around here, go ahead and subscribe and don't forget to like the video as well. It's going to take you 2 seconds to do. It's one of the best ways to support my channel. Let's aim for 12 likes on today's video. Just a quick word about the deadline tomorrow before we get into the back line here. I'm sadly not going to be able to be live for the deadline stream, but I am still answering every single FPL question you guys put in the comments below on today's video. I will do it by the end of tonight. I absolutely promise you that. So make sure you drop in your FPL questions in the comment section. But getting in to the back line, and I don't know how many times I've said it this season, but it's definitely up there. We're starting with the triple Arsenal defence. I've had them since game week 8 and they've been absolutely outstanding for me pretty much all season. Everton at home this week for the Arsenal boys feels like a fantastic fixture, not only for Arsenal to get ahead in the title race, but for the FPL assets, especially in the back line. Everton at times can be resilient in defence, but I feel as though having the Arsenal defenders as a triple up is quite optimal this game week, especially being at home. So incredibly happy to have the triple up here. Of course, we do have to mention they blank next game week, and I'll sort of briefly brush over my plan for next week with these boys here. They're all going to be sat on my bench most likely, and it's probably going to be Erling Haaland who is either sold this week or next. It could be this week because Mohamed Salah is looking extremely attractive as a captaincy option this game week. And it sort of brings me on to Virgil van Dijk here. Spurs at home. Spurs, man. What on earth? Just serious. What is going on there? I mean, look at the list of injuries they have. I mean, new ones have been announced in the latest press conferences today. It just feels like such a good fixture for defenders for Liverpool, for attackers specifically, though, for Liverpool. And Virgil van Dijk, of course, as well as the Arsenal boys, really ahead in the clean sheet potential percentage this game week. So having this as my starting back line feels incredible this game week. Of course, one goal ruins the Arsenal clean sheet there, but I feel as though they're super strong in the Premier League. Really happy to have this back line. Just a quick word on the benching order here. I have slight doubts about Anderson's minutes, therefore he falls third on my bench. Rodon, I feel as though, has a pretty good chance of a clean sheet as well as defensive contributions this week, so he falls second with one of my midfielders taking the first spot here. We'll move up to the midfield now where things get seriously interesting with potential transfers as well as captaincy. The good fixtures don't just stop at the defence, they go through the entire team, and my midfield is full of differential options with fantastic fixtures this game week. A real opportunity to gain some serious rank before next week's blank game week, leading in, of course, to my chip strategy of wildcard 32, bench boost 33, and free hit in 34. We'll start with Dango Ouattara, who is still really differential, 3.6% ownership with a Wolves at home fixture. I think it's important to add, of course, Wolves have looked a bit better in recent game weeks, especially against some of the bigger sides, stealing points off them. You know, the likes of Liverpool and Arsenal really stand out for me. Can I see, Wolves causing some problems for Brentford? Yes, in some ways, but on paper, this is still a brilliant opportunity for Brentford assets, and I really do like Dango Ouattara. Maybe a chance for him to redeem himself for that Panenka penalty he missed against West Ham. It was quite shocking he did it, though, but anyway, I think he's a great option still. And speaking on differentials, what ownership is Tavernier now? 1.8% ownership, Marcus Tavernier. Burnley away from home. This feels like an unbelievable chance. A penalty taker, really involved in attacking set pieces. A really great chance for a rank gain this week. I really hope he can pull something out of the bag. I've had Tavernier for a number of weeks in my FPL team, even when he was red flagged. So happy to have him for game week 30. Dominic Szoboszlai as well, 11% owned in FPL. We spoke briefly about the attacking potential of Liverpool, specifically within this game week. Spurs at home. Just feels like an unbelievable time to have Liverpool attackers. Szoboszlai playing in a more advanced role. I think it would maybe not be as surprising to see Szoboszlai playing at right back, but I see Florian Wirtz, especially back from injury now, maybe pushed out to that left wing, rotating with Cody Gakpo, maybe an early sub or two there, or even we could see Cody Gakpo start on that left wing, but Szoboszlai, I do think, will play more advanced, and he's been brilliant in that role for Liverpool this season. In fact, he's their best player so far this season by quite a long distance for me, and I'm sure many of you at home would agree with me. So having that Liverpool attacker there feels great this game week. Someone I'd absolutely love to own, and who is my number one captaincy option this game week, is Mohamed Salah in the midfield. It just requires me to sell Erling Haaland. We'll get into a more in-depth discussion with that as we go into the forward section next. Especially when we move to Bruno Fernandes now, captaincy, it becomes more complex when we add other players in. But we'll speak about Bruno Fernandes as a sole player here. Aston Villa at home, how good is the fixture? Is it even that good? And I think what it comes down to is Aston Villa have really been struggling in the last few game weeks. I think their midfield problems are bigger than people actually think. They see the league position of Aston Villa and they think, it's just not a good fixture. I think for Bruno Fernandes this week, it's a serious option for captaincy. We all know the routes to points Bruno Fernandes has. Penalties, set pieces, massive attacking involvement, specifically within his new role under Michael Carrick. So for me, he's a genuine option this week and currently has my armband for game week 30. We'll move more into captaincy as we go into the next section here, but I think the highlighted bit of this conversation is Mohamed Salah is genuinely a great option this week, and he could be in this midfield for game week 30. Here is the full team for game week 30, of course, with the forward line now included. Evan Nielsen, Haaland and Thiago, all with fantastic fixtures for game week 30. And there are two main questions we need to answer in this section of the video. Who do we captain, and do we sell Erling Haaland? Firstly, let's cover Evan Nielsen and Thiago because they're less interesting conversations to be had. Evan Nielsen, Burnley away from home. It's a good fixture, but what are his expected minutes looking like? Because lately he has been so frustrating to own. 2.2% ownership, Burnley away from home. It feels like a great chance for some really good rank gain, but what is his minutes going to be like? Is he going to come off before 60 again? Is Krupi just going to start? It's so difficult to tell with this guy, and that alone makes me want to sell him, but the only option I'd really like to go to is an Ekitike. However, that would block the Mo Salah move that I would maybe like to make this evening. We'll get into that in just a second. Igor Thiago, Wolves at home. What a season he's having. What an unbelievable season this guy is having. Such a great FPL asset, and this week he feels like a genuine option potentially for captaincy. I think he's maybe fourth on my list for captaincy this game week. I see other options as slightly better and more optimal, but what a great option he is this week. Now we get into the nitty gritty. Firstly, do we sell Erling Haaland this week? With my team, perhaps it's a lot different of a situation to you guys. I have wildcard, free hit and bench boost all available. I've used my triple captain, unfortunately, on Gabriel in his double game week. Let's move to this screen here because I think it'll become more clear what my plans are when we look at this here. So Erling Haaland, if I was to sell him, I would genuinely probably go to someone by the name of Calvert-Lewin. Here he is. That saves me a lot of money. It also gives me enough money to go from Anderson into, of course, Mohamed Salah. Now, I know many people do not like Mohamed Salah in FPL. He's, of course, not having the season he had last season. People are ridiculing Liverpool left, right and centre. And, of course, after the Champions League defeat midweek, people aren't really going to be jumping on this guy, which does make me think perhaps it's actually a decent move to make because of how differential he actually is. 14% ownership, a really, really great standout captain for the game week. Spurs at home. This would also help me next game week if we skip forward a bit, because of course Haaland blanks in this week. So what I would end up doing is playing the likes of a Rodon, perhaps even going like this, going Dubravka in as well, and just playing a team like this, potentially benching an Evan Nielsen for a Calvert-Lewin. That's decisions kind of to make there. But it would help me and support me in the blank game week of 31, selling Erling Haaland. Now, going back to the other screen, is it actually the right time to do so? Should I not just be saving my transfers? 3 transfers saved in the bank. Could I just roll again? Get 4 transfers for game week 31. If there are any big injuries or big problems I need to solve whilst having blank players, that could be really beneficial for the blank game week of 31. And it's not like Haaland's a bad option in this fixture. I have him as my 3rd best captain for the game week. It's just hard to tell. With how Man City lost in the first leg against Real Madrid, they play against them again on the 17th of this month. Could he be slightly rested in this game or come off early within this fixture, which does take his expected minutes down, does make him a less attractive option for captaincy? Could the move be Erling Haaland to Mohamed Salah this week? It's a genuine question that I still am really unsure of. And of course, I will be making my final selection this evening, where a potential transfer could be made selling Erling Haaland. I will let you know on all social medias what my final team is this evening. But right now, I think I'm going to roll, and I think I'm going to captain Bruno Fernandes. Let me know in the comments what you're doing for game week 30, and of course all of your questions, please put them in the comments of this video. I'm going to be replying to every single one. Of course, no deadline stream for me tomorrow for the FPL deadline for game week 30, so please comment your FPL questions and I will get to you as soon as possible. Tomorrow is the FPL deadline, and I sadly won't be able to be live for the deadline stream, but I'm still going to be answering every single one of your FPL questions in the comment section of this video. So if you have any questions you were saving for the FPL deadline stream, make sure you comment them right now and I will get back to you by the end of the night. If you did enjoy this video though, make sure you have clicked the like button and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already for future FPL content and FPL streams. But that is everything for today's video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.